Big Slick here. In today's video is a different topic than I usually do. This is a Fuji S9100 digital camera. The vintage is late 2006. It was released in October of 2006. And I have an interest in vintage digital cameras and a more recent interest in photography in general. And I picked this up at an online auction. It was quite cheap from a California store, and it turns out that there must have been a reason why. Even though in general the camera looks fantastic condition, even came with a nice bag and original manual and some memory cards and everything. The problem is someone left these AA alkaline batteries in here, and as you see, they just totally leaked and absolutely destroyed the inside of the compartment. When I say destroyed it, all of the metal for the contacts and everything are completely eaten away. The battery compartment is not salvageable. It's not a situation where you wipe it up with vinegar and you'll be good to go, or shine it up with some sandpaper. Far beyond that. I cleaned it up just to get the leaking chemicals out of the inside of the compartment, but it was not salvageable. So at this point, this camera works fine, and the option is to just use it as a camera that's permanently attached to an AC cord on a tripod in my studio here, or the second thing would be to try to come up with a solution. So what I got to thinking is, well, since you can power this from an AC adapter and it's 5 volts, why not just use a power bank, which would actually power this camera substantially longer, probably like 5, 6, even 10 times longer than the AA batteries would. So what I did is, I have a small power bank right here. I used some Velcro to Velcro it to the underneath, and I'm in the process of buying a very short, as in around a 3-inch cable that'll just go straight out of the power pack straight into the side of the camera. But I happen to have a longer one here just to see how well this would work, and this solution does work outstanding. And in fact, I could even see in a camera, if you need a longer amount of shots or time in use when you're out in the field, or just in some place where you just don't want to be constantly trying to change batteries, this might be a great solution, because you could use the longer cable, you could Velcro the power bank to your tripod, and you could probably shoot all day on one of these, and depending on your camera obviously, and especially if you're not using the flash, you'll power this thing for hours and hours and hours. And this is actually a small power bank. You could get one that's a lot more capacity, and you could probably power it for days, no problem at all. And so, okay, I turned the power pack on, and I'll show you that the camera is actually fine. There's no issues with it at all. So if you're trying to come up with a solution to a device like this that may have had irreparable damage to the battery compartment, or you're just looking for a solution to have your camera battery life last a whole lot longer when you're out someplace, just simply go in through the AC input on your camera, which almost every camera has the ability to power it through a power pack. And if it's 5 volts, just get the correct cable that'll interface between one of these power banks and your camera, and you'll be good to go. So it's a great solution, and otherwise this camera would have been destined for the landfill. And it's quite a capable camera still to this day. It's not going to rival a high-end DSLR, but you know, it is 9 megapixel. It has a 1/1.6 Super CCD. sensor in it. It's quite capable. It had excellent reviews over the years. It was a very expensive camera. I believe it cost north of $600. In fact, probably a little bit more than that. So it was a good piece of gear back in the day, and you can still have a lot of enjoyment and take a lot of great photos with it. And I suspect that a lot of cameras that people are going to buy on the used market that originally ran AA batteries, you're going to find a lot of them that have a totally corroded battery compartment. It happens. People forget they put something like an alkaline battery in there, and by the time you figure it out, it's too late. So in something like this, you can't even properly get into it to service it once the damage is in there. There's just no way you're going to tear one of these apart and do any service to it. So this is a solution for people that are in that bind, and it's a cheap solution too. Most people have a spare power bank around these days, and you can find the cable for not a lot of money. A short cable, you can get that straight from Alibaba for less than $5 shipped. Thanks a lot. Bye.